have no reason to be nervous. None whatsoever. And I'm going to tell you why in one word.
And what's that word?
Dibbs.
First Dibbs question of the day brought to you by Trantolo and Trantolo. Can you imagine being third generation of Trantolos to be helping this state since 1938 fight and win millions upon millions for injured victims? Their offices are in Hartford, Waterbury, Bridgeport, New Haven, and Torrington. Save some time. Call them right now, 844-999-9999. Jaylen Brown. This is an impossible question. Can he ever live up to the $304 million 5-year deal he just got?
Dude, I'm shocked. I cannot believe
I mean, I am in shock. That was like so many things running down the list of what we were going to talk about today. When that hit, I was like, that was not on my mind at all.
Not at all. Not
$300 million worth of Jaylen Brown.
Now, if Jaylen Brown signed a max deal, okay, yeah, I understand that. Now, Jaylen Brown signs the biggest deal in NBA history. What? He's not the best player in the NBA. I'd say he's not even the best player in the Eastern Conference.
I don't think he's top 10.
I don't think
he's a top 10 player.
I think he's the best player in the division. I would argue he might not even be the best player on his team.
Oh, he's not. Jason Tatum's a better player. Come on.
Now, if you're going to give the most money, regardless of what it is, regardless of the year, it's the most money any player in the league is going to be granted over the next 5 years. Biggest contract ever in the history of the NBA. I'm sorry, bro. I'm asking for 2 titles, and in one of those championship runs, you have to be the MVP of that. That's what is being paid for right now. I don't think it's just to be Jason Tatum's bud. I don't think it's just to have 20 points and 10 rebounds a night. I'm sorry. Highest paid player in the league, you are expected to do something spectacular.
You better win a couple championships, is all I got to say.
2 out of 5.
2 out of 5 years, which is not going to be easy. Philly's not going away. Milwaukee's not going away.
Right.
Miami's not going away. This is going to be a battle every year. I understand you need the horses to run this race, but at what expense? Because who do you have to jettison now? And we've seen a bunch of guys gone,
Some backbone guys, some tough guys.
Brogdon, Smart come to mind. I mean, those 2 really good players.
You can throw Grant Williams in there if you want.
Williams. I mean, so that's 3 guys right now that are paying for this contract.
Yes. And, you'd have to think the other suitors from other teams and their potential offers to match have something to do with this. But there's a point where you got to stop and say, hey, man, this is way too much for us. Way too much for the price tag we were actually asking for. Now, they did what they had to do and as far as getting him his stats, letting him be himself and being all NBA so they can be in this situation. But I think you're overpaying drastically for this player. Love me some Jaylen Brown. Not in the fourth quarter of playoff games, though.
So you got 60 in him. You got 33 in Porzingis. You got 28 in Tatum. So you haven't even paid Tatum his max deal.
Next year. Yeah.
$70 million more than what Giannis is getting.
Yeah, that's not relative, though. When he comes up for it, he'll be one of the highest paid guys. It's timing. Timing, Kurt. It happens in baseball. It happens in the NBA.
And you've got to find the guy willing to do it. I mean, I think that's the other thing about this. This is the Boston Celtics here. The Boston Celtics don't throw around $300 million contracts.
No, they don't. And I think he's one of the most popular players. But listen, you had the other team in town, the Red Sox. I could argue right now in the last 20 years, Mookie Betts is one of your most popular players. And you just allowed him to go to one of the worst teams in my mind, the Dodgers, and help them. He's already helped them win 1 championship. He might help them win more before he's done.
The timing of his ownership is different than the timing of the Celtics ownership right now.
But it's still you're saying that Mookie Betts, who's still a perennial all-star, still had a career year this year that he's got going on out there. I mean, this guy is still giving you some of his best years. Are Jaylen Brown's best years in front of him in the next 5 years?
All I'm saying is when the post-game press conferences come around after a loss, do not shy away from the cameras, sir. that is a part of this $305 million contract. They are expecting
You gotta be
greatness.
later, yeah.
They're expecting for you to show up at every moment. And when you don't, the questions of why cannot be ignored. You can't run and hide and say, I don't know why you're asking me. This is a team game. No, you're being paid as the best player in the NBA. Regardless of argument, whether you are or whether you're not, you're being paid that way. So the expectations, they were high already. It's championship time now, because if it's not, there's a lot of answering to do. And if you don't win a championship, and then, it's even next year, like, we're going to have this conversation with Tatum, and I don't know what the Celtics are going to do about it.
Well, and the conversation is also postseason. You're paying, like I say this in baseball, a lot of these contracts, you're paying for like a Garrett Cole or an Aaron Judge or a Scherzer or a Verlander. We need championships, Lindor. So your greatness is in the postseason. This guy last year averaged almost 27 points a game in the regular season.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this is awful. He averaged 22.7. But his production went down in the postseason. It's like Jason Tatum. These guys somewhat disappear. Last year, he was actually better, 21-22, averaged over 23 points a game in the 24 postseason games. So that's where he's going to leave his legend, and his mark is going to be if he can bring a couple of championships in 5 years back to Boston.
Well, here's the resume, the past history, and this is as far as I'm going to go. I'm not going to give you any more than this one. Game 7 versus Miami. Jaylen Brown, 1 for 9 for 3, 8 turnovers. That's not $300 million for 5 years. I'm sorry, dude. That's not even $10 million.
That's not $300 worth.
I wouldn't pay for it. You're getting ripped off on that $300 million. I find this one the most shocking piece of news of all the crazy things we've heard today. The Jaylen Brown being the highest paid player in the NBA is a mind boggler for me. But like you said, timing.
Timing's everything.
On a timing.
Where the structure is in the CBA, it's escalating every year. These guys are making I think it's like 10 or 20% more they have to make because of the CBA.
He's not going to be this. He's not going to be in this position next year. Somebody's going to beat him next year.
Oh yes, absolutely, without a doubt, without a doubt. And whether it's Jokic or it's Giannis or whoever's up for it, what I'm saying is this was hashed out by your union against the owners. So the owners now, whether you're a veteran player, you can only make a certain amount of money. You can't go backward and make, league minimum. The rookie players have a different structure on how their contracts are structured. And your Supermax, this is a Supermax contract. This is what is available for the Celtics. They couldn't have paid him less to get this Supermax contract done. It's basically the way you do like the bonuses of the amateur draft and MLB. It's slotted. And because of where he is slotted, that's why this dude just made $304 over 5 years.
Plus minus was minus 17 in that game 7 too, by the way.
Oh, he was not good. And by the way, another shocker, not one of my favorite Dallas Cowboys. They are finalizing, I'm sure the physical comes in here, Trayvon Diggs.
How much he make?
Cornerback, 5 years, $97 million.
Saquon Barkley.
$97 million.
He's over the toilet right now.
He will also get a $22 million signing bonus. Could max out to $104 million with incentives. So Saquon, like you said, his wife or girlfriend right now is going,
I can't believe that guy got more than you.
Who is he? What team does he even play for?
You give up the most touchdowns per yards last year?
Oh, man.
Getting burned?
Oh, man.
As a Cowboys fan, I'm just like, but that's what it is.
He's on the right team, though.
He's on the right team.
He's on the right team. They pay their players.
Locked up some of these guys that they think they have to lock up.
Yep.
And even Tony Pollard's going to be like, damn, I'm like,
I'll play
way
corner.
over-earning my
play
money
safety.
here.
I'll play D tackle. I don't want to play running back anymore.
Can I switch positions at this late date?
Tell you what, Pollard would be awesome at any position. Throw him at linebacker, put him on a blitz.
All right, we'll
happens.
come back. We'll talk about what this does, man. Again, solidifies the back end of the Cowboys defense. Saquon Barkley, at least makes everybody happy now. Saquon's coming to camp.
He wants to play football. He wants to be on this team. He wants to get started on a process to win the Super Bowl.
Will he be a happy camper?
No.
That's the question.
No, not at all.
All right, we'll talk about all this kind of stuff and some more NFL camp news next.